This conference will now be recorded.
Hello everyone, this is Bashir from Operatic Solutions again. Today we'll try to talk about SQL part and I'm gonna discuss about 5 6 questions. Let's say 5 questions, and we'll try to make it shorter because many of you don't like long videos that I heard. So let's see, we can try to make it as short as possible. So the first question we'll discuss is like, if you see my MySQL workbench is open, so we'll try to execute a couple of queries. But first thing, we'll try to understand that what is primary key. So what is primary key and foreign key? The first question. So let's say if you try to talk about primary key and foreign key, that means you need to understand what is primary key. So primary key, you can say simply, PK, you can say is column or a combination of columns, that uniquely identifies each record, or or we can say row, in a table. So it's a simple thing, right? Primary key is a column that uniquely identifies each row in a table, right? So that means with the help of a primary key, that means with the help of a primary key, we can update or delete, or identify uh, identify hmm, a record uniquely. So it's not going to mix up, right? So if you use primary key, you're not going to get two rows. You're not going to get two records with that, because primary key, if you use it, it's going to be very unique. Okay. So, and another characteristics is, let's say that it cannot contain, you can say contain duplicate and null values. So definitely there should be a values. This is a primary key. So if you can see my screen, you can see the employees, right? And if I check that employees table, you see that here in the employees, if you just click on employees, you see the employee ID is PK. You can see the PK here. You can see PK here. So see employee ID. So this see 100, 100 is there's no duplicate. No duplicate data here, and you may not see any null value over here. No null value. So that's the primary key. Now, how about foreign key? Foreign key. That's the column 2. Column that we can say that uh, connect, connect one table to another table, by, you can say, referring hmm, by referring to the primary key, of another table. So that means if any other table, let's say that, just an example, let's say that it's an employee, and in the employees table there's employee ID. If I go to uh, job history, right? Job history, you see employee ID again. That means same, the same column, but it refers to the employees table. Okay, it refers to the employees table. So an example, if you can see, um, I mean, let me give an example of primary key again, huh? So that it will be, and let's say the primary key is, I would say, employees. Huh? Example, let's say, just give an example so that it will be easy for you to understand. Huh? That I can say that employee ID of hmm, employees table. So that means that's the primary key, right? Employee ID of the employees table. How about the foreign key here? Now, if I go to job history, you see again employee ID. Huh? I would say that is example is, I would say, employee. Let me just give an example. Employee ID in the job history. Huh? The job history table that refers. What's the refers? To the employee ID of the employees table. That needs to be refers to the employee ID of the employee table. Okay. So if I try to see, let's see, if I click on here, hmm, if you see the employee job history tables information, you can talk about DDL, data definition language. You can see when they created that uh, table, hmm, they clearly mentioned that this employee ID that refers, what's the reference? Employees table, employee ID. Employees table, employee ID. That means this is when they created this job history table, they already referred that employee ID of the employees table. Okay. So that means we understand that this is foreign key. So it's very primary key and foreign key. It's very clear. That's the primary key is a unique key, and foreign key can be, of course, foreign key can be null or duplicate. Can be null or duplicate. That's fine. But primary key cannot be null or duplicate. Okay. So primary key is easy. It's uniquely identifies each row record in a table. But foreign key that connect with that connects the primary key table, and foreign key actually, you can see the foreign key in other table that connects to the primary key table. Okay, so that is very, so it's a connection issue. Right? Next question we can talk about. It's very important interview question. Let's say, um, how do you find duplicate records in a database, something like that, and duplicate record. Hmm? How do you find duplicate record? So for this, let's say we're gonna take a reference of the employees table. Let's say the employees table. So employees table has many columns. I will say that column is many fields. I see that first name, last name, email. So let's say if I see employees table information, where can I see the duplicate records? I must not see duplicate records in the employee ID this column, right? I might see duplicate records. Um, Suppose it's a department ID, right? It has a duplicate. It's a 90, 90, 90. Same records you see, then many rows, same records. So I can use department ID, right? So I need to check that, how can I find the duplicate records? So we can say, let's say first use HR. So just need to make sure that which scheme you are going to use. And then you can try to find, select say, department ID, right? Select department ID, or you can say that, how many counts, how many duplicates means it's two times, three times, count can start from employees and then group by department ID. Group by department ID. So when I use group by, that means it will show us that, okay, this every, let's say that it has example 90, right? Three times, so that group it they will group it, and it will show me that, okay, how many times is there, right? How many times it is there. So you can just, if I just run this, execute this, I'll see. So it is, this is not duplicate, this is not, but this is duplicate, this is duplicate, this is duplicate, this is duplicate, huh? This is, you can see, duplicate, huh? Okay, you can see duplicate. And you can use a having close to find that, okay, which, what the count is, huh? Whatever count is greater than one, that means it will, you will see only the duplicate values, huh? Fine. Or you can use, um, sometimes you can use not only the duplicate records, you can use some, like, I mean, like similar type of things. Let's say that select department ID. Sometimes you try to get some, particular uh, departments average salary. Let's say that there are three departments. You just want to make sure that average salary. Let's say that, how about 90, right? There are 90, right? This department ID, 90 department ID. I mean, we were working in this department. How about their average salary? So, in terms of department ID, I can say average salary, and from employees, like again, group by department ID. And try like this. Uh, Probably I made a mistake. I could function page. Okay. Oh, it's AVG. Mistake over here. I can try again. So I found it. What happened actually? I made a mistake over average, right? So you see the average salary of one, this department ID 10, right? So maybe it has multiple people working. So their average salary is like this. Department ID 20, there's multiple people working, their average salary is like this. Huh? So similarly, we can use the total salary as well. Huh? Just copy and paste. Huh? Over here, department item, I would say sum from employees. And I can also try to find that count as well here. Huh? Count, that just to make sure that how many people are working there. Huh? For employees, by department ID. So I can see this. So 10, let's say that 20, right? Two people working there, and this total salary is this, like, six people work. Department ID 36 people working there. There's summary is like this, huh? Department ID 40, one people, department ID 50, 45 people working there. Their summary, their total salary is like this. Huh? So this is very also common interview questions. Hope you understand. The next thing we can discuss is how do you find um, second or third, highest salary. Huh? Very common interview question. How do you find second or third highest salary? Okay, simple. We're going to talk about the select salary from. So what we will do, we're gonna try to make sure, we're gonna try to create a temporary table. Simple, a temporary table. Let's say table name T or A, huh? Something. Let's say table name T. it's a temporary table. So it's a temporary, so that I'm going to say T. Temporary table. We're going to create a temporary table. From that table, we'll find in that table, so we'll try to find it. Let's say that select salary, and we use dense rank. Is what? Dense rank. This is very common and good method, huh? Dense rank over, and I would say order by salary, huh? Order by salary descending, so that it will create a descending order, but it will create a dense, it will create a rank. At first, it will get the descending order, it will create a rank. So it will, at first it will get the salary, and it will create a rank. But rank, how come it's create a rank? At first, we need to make sure that we can create a descending order. And then let's say that highest at the top, then the second highest, then the third highest, from the top to bottom, slowly, slowly. So that is descending order. And we're gonna make sure that as we'll get a column alias for this dense rank. Let's say salary rank, and you can say that from, we are doing all these things from employees table, right? From employees. Okay. Now this is actually, I created, and I'm getting some data from a temporary table. Simple. That's why I put T, temporary table. So now think about it. Select salary from T. And in this table, actually what happened? What happened? We got salaries, and as per rank, it gives a rank from the descending order, and from employees table, right? From employees table. Okay. And so now it creates another table, temporary table. So that now we select that from the temporary table, that salary from a temporary table. Okay. And now we would say that, where what I mean, second highest, maybe we can say that salary rank is 2, huh? Where you can say that salary rank equal 2 or 3, whatever it is, huh? 2. That means second highest salary what? 17,000. But I see two. I mean, two people getting the same salary. I mean, second salary, being received by two persons, so that I can make it distinct. Huh? So if I use distinct, so it will get only one. Huh? Okay. This is very common interview question. Just try to use this. Next question is, if you get this, like, do you feel like you have any question over here? Probably no, right? It's very easy. So next question, we can talk about say difference between order by and group by. We know group by, right? So simple, huh? Just try to understand what is order by. So order by simple. Consider order by, we use when we want data in a specific order, right? In a specific order, like um, like descending or ascending. This actually order by. Okay. Example, I would say select star from employees, order by salary descending. Okay. Order by salary descending. So now 24,000 the highest, then lowest, then second highest, third highest, fourth highest is going down slowly, slowly, slowly. Okay. Similarly, if you try to make it hmm, ascending, so you can type just simply it's coming to lowest to slowly, slowly going high, huh? Lowest to highest. So this is actually a specific order in a specific order. Okay. And how about group by? I would say group by is really um, let's say it combines two or three rows in a group, right? Combines two or three rows, rows in a group, in a group. Okay, so it mainly we use it. Mainly we use this a lot in let's say the aggregate functions support count, sum, average, or max, mean, like those type of aggregate functions. We mainly use this. So example, we have discussed this earlier, right? When you use group by, let's say, this is actually use department ID count from employees group by department ID. Okay, so simple. I'm just copy paste to understand better. Okay. Group, right? Right, it's a create a specific group. So 20, there's a two people, so it's a group. 40, 30, 6 people is a group. 50, 45 is a group. They made a group. So this is how we can talk about. So another question you will get basically is a theoretical questions that they can ask you hmm, that tell me about database database defect or bug you found. Yeah. It's very common interview question too. So you can just talk about that. Let's say that you are a part of your recent project or you are part of the banking project, or it can be a health insurance project. So banking project perspective, we can say that let's say there was a fund transfer, fund transfer, and where you can say that where UI um, say that UI displayed the transaction, you can say transaction completed, but you found database still you can say something like that, still pending. Hmm. So that's a bug. uh, so so you try to understand that what happened, and finally you try to understand. It goes to API, it goes to database, and try to understand what happened, and finally you found that database was database um, and UI, that those are out of sync, you can say, Hmm, out of sync, so there was some issue that those are not connected to each other somehow. So that's why you see that these issues was found. And similar cases, you think they are just let's say that health insurance, so that you can sometimes see that API, you are trying to talk about API return that something active, someone's health insurance is active, but but database you found this, okay, it's a incorrect termination date, and because of that the eligibility response was incorrect, and and for some service dates and all these things. So you can talk about this, the defect. You can report the defect, any defect, and we can say that with the SQL query you search. You can just copy the SQL query and use it and paste it in a defect report. So database results, and what are the evidence from UI and API side, expected result, actual result. You can do so that you need to check database, and you found that okay, there's something discrepancies, or there's not matching with the UI or with the API what is showing, but database is showing different thing. That is database defect. Okay. So you can need to talk about health insurance purpose, insurance. So you can say that API UI says something, but PUS says uh, hmm, active, but is database. It is uh, data. Data says the member is terminated. So that's what this is also an issue, so that you can hmm, write the queries, and then you can found it and you can use this. Okay. So these are the very common interview questions we talked about SQL part today. It's the first part, and the next part I will discuss few others SQL question. Let's say that some uh, joinings, left join, right join. We'll talk about this. You will get these questions in the interview a lot. Okay, thank you. So we'll talk about the next class. Thank you so much.